Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to this week of the Spiral of Wisdom Satsang that Mamanise, the founder of School of Ancient Wisdom, started many years ago. So, before we continue, may I request Swati to say the school prayer?
Good evening, everyone. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Thank you.
Thank you, Swati. So, before I start, let's just close our eyes, sit straight with our back, neck, and head aligned. The idea is to request the Guru within us through today's Guruvara. So let us connect with the Guru within us, the higher self, and make the satsang, which is a relatively shorter satsang today, make the satsang a success, and may it uplift us to our highest level of consciousness for today. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So, as Swati has indicated to us, this week is a little unusual in the sense that while we have a wonderful speaker with us, Ravi Singh Choudhary ji, he is actually on his way to the Kumbh Mela, and this was not as per plan at this particular time. He was supposed to be available more easily. So because of this situation, we'll be having a much shorter satsang lasting about 15-20 minutes, which will be continued again by Ravi Singh ji next week. So before I hand it over to him, here's a quick introduction. Ravi Singh Choudhary ji is a prolific author known for bridging ancient wisdom with contemporary relevance. Sorry, before I continue, am I audible? Am I visible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, fine. Because I'm using a mobile, so I have to confirm this. Right. So, Ravi Singh Choudhary ji is a prolific author known for bridging ancient wisdom with contemporary relevance. He has authored several influential books, such as Rishi Intelligence, Chanakya's Intelligence, and Vriksha Ayurveda Samhita. With a strong academic background in BTech Mechanical Engineering and 6 years of industry experience at HEC Ranchi and Vedanta, Chowdhury's research is centered around the Indian Knowledge System, IKS. His work extends to the decolonization of the mind as evidenced by his published papers on the subject. In addition to his academic contributions, Choudhary ji is the convener of the 10th World Vriksha Ayurveda Conference in 2024, highlighting his leadership role in advancing the field. His key areas of research include Vriksha Ayurveda, Sankhya Darshana, Nyaya Darshana, and Arthashastra, where he seeks to explore the profound insights of ancient Indian philosophies and their relevance in the modern world. Well, I'm very happy to hear this. I mean, very happy to read this introduction because decolonizing Bharat is something that's quite dear to me because I believe there's a lot of ancient wisdom locked up in our uh, the Bharatiya Samskriti before, and that's something that we really need to get re-exposed to if we have to take a country forward. So, without much more delay, let us hand over to Ravi Singh Choudhary ji. Over to you, ji.
Namaste, sir. Namaste, everyone, and thank you for such a wonderful introduction. And I am sharing my slide just to be more precise in today's discussion. So the word is Rishi Intelligence, right? So when the word came AI, artificial intelligence. So my curiosity was more on natural intelligence. Means in the age of AI, if we are not relevant enough, then machines will outcompete us. So what should be or what was the epitome of natural intelligence in a human body? At what level one can achieve the level of intellect? Okay. So the Rishi Intelligence, I wrote a book, and it was more on the methodologies, right? Means someone from New Zealand, some biologist, he simply means wrote on internet, if Indians can tell about the microscope, then we will believe something like Rishi Kanad's atomic theory. Okay, Anu, Parmanu. Without the methodology, without the apparatus, without explaining how ancient sages explored something, you can't rediscover it and you can't claim it, right? Means you have to tell the methodology. Okay. In today's world, we have Aristotelian logic, we have calculus, we have machines, okay, we have data analytics, we have sophisticated, you can say, the ecosystem that drives us to do the engineering and technology and to bring products. So without that support system, science would be like only a kind of a philosophy, not something very much pragmatic or something having real life value. Okay. So it was my journey to explore how Ayurveda was structurally, systematically wrote down. Okay. What was the methodologies? Because many a time people say it was just heat and trial, it was just kind of a random thing. Okay. They means somehow in the long run they found few recipes, few solutions, and that's how they developed many indigenous knowledge system. Okay. Even uh, for a country that was very much prosperous in ancient time, like one third of GDP of the world, they just say that because of the population, because of that, the density and diversity of the population, somehow there was more livelihood activities. That's why they were prosperous. But because of advent of means industrial revolution, that system outcompeted and the wealth went to those who have the machineries and weapons and everything, the kind of technologies. Okay. So somehow many people were not curious enough how this civilization survived, thrived, and prospered uh, in the long run. Okay. So my quest was to discover the epistemology. Epistemology is what we know uh, and how we know. Okay. What we say, how we were able to reach that, what we say, is a kind of thing you can say epistemology. Okay. So uh, my my curiosity was more on exploring the bhautika aspect of ancient wisdom from Bharat. Okay, more the materialistic point of view, because from point of spirituality, we have many schools of thought and very much well developed sampradaya and a system. You can say they have their own teaching methodology. Okay, but I was more interested on the scientific aspect. Okay, because without any metaphysics, without any uh, scientific approach, you can't build uh, temple like Kailash temple. You can't build ancient temple, right? Because civil engineering will require understanding of geometry, understanding of the material science, understanding of geography, understanding of all these design elements, everything. Okay, so seeing the temples, we can reverse engineer that we have the understanding or we had the understanding of trigonometry, geometry, and the sophisticated means the civil engineering uh, knowledge. Okay, so it should have some meta, it should have some seed where the all system of knowledge is sprouted. Okay, so there are kind of four words, four kind of vidya that we see in our ancient Vedic text. Okay, paravidya, vidya, aparavidya, avidya. Okay, paravidya is something pare, something beyond materiality. Okay, whenever we talk about something like consciousness, something like Brahma, Paramatma, okay, the cause of the universe, that is literally not directly accessible to us in a manner that logically we can explain that, logically we can define that. So those all systems uh, means they are more like Paravidya, okay, and Aparavidya, that is more relative kind of a truth, not having permanence. Okay, okay. So we have the both the material knowledge and the spiritual knowledge, the intellectual exercise and the intuitional exercise. Okay, the observational methodology or the logical deductions methodologies. Okay, there are many facets of the knowledge system that were in ancient India. Okay, and in the context of aparavidya or avidya, okay, avidya is like the vidya that is having not means kind of permanent value. It's like skills, you can say. Okay, the knowledge of uh, a rudimentary thing, or you can say in the scale of time, it is very much of limited value. Okay, maybe 400 years after, you can't have that much value of that particular knowledge. But the paravidya, okay, can have the relevance even after 4,000, 10,000, 20,000 years. Okay, so this is one kind of framework that was used in the context of aparavidya or avidya, that is limited in time scale, that can be transferred, that can be teachable, that can be doable. Okay, it is under the third person experience also. Okay, like the yogic experience, it is always the first person experience. If 10 people are doing the same 10 steps, okay, they will get different results, they will not get similar results. Okay, even after following all those similar steps. Okay, and that's how we can't design an algorithm, we can't find a law, we can't find a principle that can be said like this is the SOP and this is the particular result. So this is easily validated, okay, by doing repeatedly 1,000 times and 2,000 times. Okay, and why it is not coming even after 1,000 times of iteration? Because we have not a single life, right? So the meta of means there is a kind of rebirth and reincarnation. There is a karma theory that basically a kind of variable that do not allow to design a system or to learn a system in a like you only live once. Okay, that's why the same kind of sanskara, same kind of yogic methodologies do not leads to same kind of result. So if that is not the case, it is not scientific, right? Science is something that can you can design a principle, you can iterate it, you can precisely predict the result out of those particular laws and principle. Falsifiable uh, thing is there, hypothesis kind of thing is there. But because the assumptions are very much limited in the realm of science, we somehow reduce the complexities so that to have easier analysis. But the easier analysis is not helping us to conclude in the right manner. Okay, and that's why people call them science, pseudoscience. But we should consider science cannot have monopoly on truth, because science itself is evolving. Okay, right? 200 years ago when something is told, that is not true for today's scientific community, right? But our rishis, this framework is used by the rishis. So one of the framework is pratyaksha pramana, anumana pramana, upamana pramana, and shabda pramana. Pratyaksha is the direct perception. Uh, it is in the realm of observation. If you can observe precisely, correctly, minimizing all the errors, then pratyaksha is also a kind of a tool to discover things. Anumana is more like inference, more like deductions, logically defining something. Okay, let me give you one example of anumana. Like, uh, we are actually not seeing the sun moving in the sky. Okay, but we see the displacement uh, in like 2 hours or in 3 hours. So somehow we compare with our memory. We have seen a child riding a bicycle. If bicycle is moving, then displacement is inherent, right? So displacement and motion are kind of cause and effect thing. So even if we are not seeing the motion of sun, but we eventually see the displacement, and that's how we conclude that sun is in motion. Okay, or earth is in the motion. There is a relative motion between sun and earth. So that's how we inferred, right? So this is the kind of anumana pramana. And pratyaksh pramana is like, uh, if we are able to do or develop the sensitivity even to observe the minute motion, then it is kind of a pratyaksha pramana. So when we are using instruments, right? So we are enhancing our pratyaksha, and when we are using mathematics and calculus or data analytics, we are actually enhancing anumana pramana. Upamana is more like analogy. When we have to means understand very complex things, like let's say quantum physics, then we give few trivial examples somehow to describe that particular phenomena. Or maybe if we do not even having the experience of pratyaksha, like how we would explain zebra to a boy or a girl. Okay, we say it is similar to horse, little bit shorter, but having white and black strips. So somehow we compare zebra with horse, and then anatomically we define all these things, and then we reach to the conclusion. Shabda Pramana is somehow we don't reinventing the wheel all the time. If Newton have said something like Newton's laws of motion, then we take it as a kind of a proof, and then we move forward. Okay. So scientific community somehow cite others. Okay. So similarly, rishis were also doing these all four things, right? So it sounds like very modern framework, uh, but it is a very ancient framework to use all those pramanas at one go or in the same analysis. Okay, but in science, pratyaksha is not respected, and in courtroom, when lawyers are discussing, anumana is not respected, but the direct evidence and pratyaksha pramana, sabut kya hai batao, that is more means emphasized, more respected. So scientific community is more like logically deducing everything, even if something is very obvious. Okay. And that's how the culture of writing research papers and journals came out. So even if a kind of a PhD in agriculture, he have many anumana means exercise in his mind, but he will not be able to do agriculture, right? Means it reduces our holistic point of view, our observation, our learning capabilities from directly seeing those phenomena or things. Okay, but in ancient times, means rishis were very much serious about all those frameworks and not to miss any one of them. And this is the journey of modern science. Like it came from Aristotelian logic, physics, mathematics, applied science, then engineering. And if you are seeing iron pillar in Delhi, then it's a kind of a metallurgy marvel. Okay. And we have Nyaya Darshan, it's more on logic, Vaisheshik more on physics, Ganit is always there. Okay, mathematics. The missing link was applied science, right? But if iron pillar is there and logic system, ancient physics, and mathematics is there, so somehow we had our own scientific temperament. So it is not out of randomness that we wrote down Charak Samhita or Susru Samhita. Okay. And the approach was means the approach of scientists is more from particular to universal. Okay, means they try to find the uh, causing means the molecule, the particular molecule. Then they try to understand those particular molecule, understand that small part, and they somehow extrapolate or they means project that understanding to the whole phenomena of whole universe. Okay, but somehow in back of mind we know understanding the pieces you can't understand the whole, right? But the Vidya approach is more like universal to particular. Okay, we are more like understanding the Brahma. Okay, and then also talking about Anu and Parmanu from Rishi's Kanath point of view. So it's a kind of a dialectical thing that subjective approach is also there and objective approach is also there. Okay, uh, Pramata is also there, Pramey is also there. Like in science, there is no place for subjectivity. Means obviously in quantum physics it is there, but in the traditional classical physics or science, the objectivity is so high that you have to quote a list of particular scientist or researcher to validate your own observation. Okay, your uh, understanding, your involvement in the apparatus is not that much of relevance. Okay, and in social sciences, if you we can see in West, like in postmodernism, objectivity has no place. It's more like subjectivity is there. Everything is means abstract, and they even don't believe in science. Okay, so it's like two polar ends. That one is believing more on the uh, logical side, and other is more on the emotional side, not on the analysis or logical side. But rishis are means we have the rishi who is writing or uh, pen penning down means Upanishad, and also one is who is more talking on Parmanus and Bhautik approach and all those things. Okay, so we don't have those binary conflict like faith or reason. Even our means you can literally see ISRO scientist is going to a temple, a kind of thing that faith, emotions can coexist with reason, okay, or the analytical mind. Okay, so the Rishi intelligence is more like not missing any part of the whole, having the bird eye view, at the same time also doing analysis on minute thing. Okay, and this is the more like evolution of universe. And uh, the Chetana, the Purush, is kind of an independent property. So the you can say the consciousness is before the evolution of Panch Mahabhuta. Like the five gross elements are literally the material reality of the universe. So even in the West, if they talk about means something very much fundamental, they say God particle. Okay, so material reality is the starting point of understanding everything. That's why they have the even uh, the they learned psychosomatic disorder, mind, body, soul framework in very later stages. Okay, they tried to solve everything through jada only, through tablets only. Okay, uh, the meditation, how we are solving the stress, it's very much looks unscientific in when let's say 30 years, 40 years ago. Okay, because how can we solve something without using any, let's say, jada material or medicine? Okay, but because the chetana and the mana and ahankar and buddhi is very much fundamental or independent property out means independent to material reality, we can deal with those things. Okay, so what is the fundamental difference between Western psychology and yoga? That mind is not thought to be true instrument for gaining knowledge, as its lens is highly sensitive to distortion and disturbances. The Western tradition considers the mind coupled with senses as sole instrument of experiencing the world. Okay, measuring instruments may be the upgradation of our senses, but even the most precise measurements require the presence of light, which makes perturbations and errors inherent, affecting the results. Okay, so why yogic cosmology is there? Why yogic mind is there? And technically, yoga is not simply for health. It's like having dam on river and getting electricity out of it and saying river has the purpose of giving electricity to the humanity. So similarly, yoga is not for health. Okay, it was written for uh, cognition, cognition, upgradation, transcending the mind. Okay, so what is Rishi intelligence? If mind is the problem, then our analysis has inherent issues. Our language has issues. Okay, because mind has the biases, inherent prejudice, and its lens is very much not pure. Okay, it's not open to learn the actual reality. So how the Rishi Patanjali coined the Ashtanga Marga. So technically, the Yam, Niyama, Pranayam, Asan, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. Okay. So last three is actually the tool of cognition. Okay. And first five is the preparation of that Rishi mind. Okay. Pratyahara is technically the dilution of the senses, or the senses that is not interacting with subject or the world. Okay, when our senses becomes inward, okay, not interacting with the world, we can say we have achieved the pratyahara stage. But it is not achievable if we are not able to somehow balance our prana or expanding our pranic body, and that is achieved by doing asana. And pranayama and asana can't be achieved if you are not following the principle of yama and niyama. That's why many people who do trainings and even yogic classes, they are not able to continue the yogic practice after the sessions or the course, because they don't or they underestimate uh, the you can say the yama or niyama, underestimate yama or niyama, and simply jumping to pranayam and asan. Okay. And why I am telling dharna, dhyan, samadhi is the main, basically the cognitive tool, because uh, uh, in the later stage, or you can say the ultimate stage, it is called samadhi. And samadhi is simply the merger of object and subject. I think I will talk more about in the upcoming session. So I'm leaving you with a curious thing that somehow we have talked about the limitations of the science, or the approach of the science, or the Rishi approach, but we will talk more about how they discovered and what was the actual Rishi intelligence. Okay, so I have to leave for today's session, and उसके लिए मैं क्षमा प्रार्थी हूँ, and I'm concluding today's session.
Thank you so much, sir, that in spite of traveling, also you gave us this session. And kindly note, it's for everyone. Since sir is traveling for Mahakumbh, he's already in mid of his journey, so he has to leave now. And this session will be continued next week. So stay tuned until that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Swati. And thank you, Ravi Singh ji. That was really very interesting. I'd love to know more. In fact, I'm sure many of the satsangis today would have had more questions, in which we can answer next week. If you are open to it, please do leave your number here for us to contact you this time, or maybe we can do it after the next session.
Thank you.
Right. So on that note of gratitude, our speaker for today had to leave because he is midway on a journey to Prayagraj, which is very auspicious. We're very lucky to have had a speaker who's so committed to spreading the wisdom of the ancient um, times, ancient Bharatiya times, ancient samskaras have a lot of um, wisdom, which if we rediscover, it will be very relevant for modern times as well, on how to make life more sustainable and filled with trupti and satisfaction in life. So on that note, let us not sit straight. The note of gratitude. We come to the last section of our satsang today, which will be continued next week. So we are now going to be doing the Loka Samasta. Please think of your loved ones, those who in your communities who need prayers. Think of their name and what kind of healing you want for them, be it in the area of health or money or relationships. Also, send out thoughts of reconciliation and peace and love to the world at large at a time when wars are also going on. And a lot of natural calamities are also on the anvil. So this is the time when we have to reach out to each other and to every other person as a part of ourselves. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. So till next Thursday, same time, same place. Please take care and do invite and bring along your friends and loved ones. Satsangs like these connect us to our higher selves, and that is really the need of the hour. So till next Thursday, take care and God bless.
Thank you, Brother Ramesh. Thank you.
Most welcome, Jasji.